Have a what?
A Twitch account?
Twitch, you said?
Yeah. People use that to stream their games. We use that as body cam. But if you don't have that, you can always. Ready, Mr. Cleveland?
Following y'all.
Okay, we're going to start off here in this room. So where you are standing, this is where unbadged will stand. Over here is where badged will stand. Over here is where vested will stand. Over here in front of the stage, this is where your colonels will stand. On stage, that is where your gens and chief will stand. So when we conduct meetings, this is where it will be. Any questions?
Yeah, I didn't hear a single thing after you said this is where we'll be at.
You didn't hear where anybody will stand?
I heard all that. It just looked like he said something then stopped after you said that.
Oh, no, I just asked if you had any questions.
No, ma'am, not so far.
All right, 10-4, follow me this way. So these 4 doors right here, this is where the different units are, different unit offices. So you have FTO, Gang Task Force, SWAT. They're having a private meeting, this is where they'll do it. If you look at the door over there to the left of the elevators, that is an RP bathroom. Again, just RP reasons. The door to the right is your evidence locker. RP reasons if you want to go drop off evidence, check out evidence, things like that. Any questions so far?
Not currently. I'll figure out how to join SWAT or one of the other deals later.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, follow me this way. So this is the bullpen. This yellow circle in front of you, that is your patrol mission. So this is the only thing that you're allowed to do as an unbadged officer. And we ask that you do not get out of your vehicle by any means, and you don't converse with anybody. And if it's anything, make it short and sweet and move along, because we've had an instance when Mr. Taco first started, when he was doing patrols, he had just spawned out of the garage and somebody asked him how to join PD, and he was telling them that person got out of their vehicle and tased him out. So we ask that you guys do your best just not to converse with anybody.
After that, ma'am.
Okay,
That's her.
So this is your contraband search. This you are allowed to do as a badged officer. What it'll end up doing, it'll spawn a down in the garage, just like it will your patrol vehicle. And you have a short time to get down to the garage to get that. There will be times where you have to get out of your vehicle on your contraband search. Just try your best to be as quick as possible. Again, keep any conversation short and sweet. You'll have people that will want to try to antagonize you, get you out of character, all those things. So we just ask you just to try to stay on task. It'll end up popping up a, I'm trying to remember the word, it'll give you directions on where to go, markers, to find your contraband. Sometimes it'll spawn you by or in a gang house. So you do your best to just be as respectful as possible when you go over there, because some don't like it and they will kill you.
Roger that.
You will be allowed to go on 10-12s with a vested officer. You'll be able to speak with your fellow officers. You can have conversations with other people that are around, but as unbadged, you are not allowed to get out of the vehicle by any means. If your partner gets killed, you'll do a /respawn in the chat, and that'll take about 15 seconds. Or there's like a little gray button underneath the chat that says /respawn, and it'll just respawn you back here at PD.
Roger that.
Any questions for?
No questions as of right now.
Okay, we're gonna go down to floor 0. I can show you floor 1 if you would like, but as unbadged, you are not allowed to go on floor 1 at all. But I'm sure you saw that when you came in for the hiring event.
Yes, ma'am. We don't need to go down to floor 1.
It's not always necessary to take them to floor 1, but if we want to, I mean, you can always use it to your discretion to take them to floor 1, and that'll be perfectly fine. Some do and some don't, but if you want to show them floor 1, that is perfectly fine. But would you like to see floor 1?
I see him when I did the hiring process. I'm good.
10-4. And we're gonna go to floor 0. We're gonna go all.
Which floor?
If you want, you can go in here and check this. This is just a changing locker room. It has been used for meetings occasionally for specific units, but this is just for RP reasons.
Next, I'm good.
All right, let's go. Okay, so this is shooting range, arsenal. If you ever want to come and practice your shooting, make sure you throw up in the chat that you will be practicing in here, because no weapons are allowed out at all unless you're coming back from a raid or something. But we ask that you put those weapons away. That is one of Administrator Eagle's rules. And you would only be allowed to have a taser or a weapon out in the gym, and we'll get to that part. The arsenal, so Mr. Taco and I, and I'm sure a few other officers, have made the mistake in picking up more than what we need. So we only ask that you pick up ammo and a bulletproof vest and a taser, because if you do that multiple times, you'll have multiple weapons that you have to go through. When as you rank up, you will be able to then get a baton, an M4, and a Glock. But right now, we just ask that you don't do that yet. If you want to, go into the arsenal right there and grab you ammo, grab a bulletproof vest, and a taser. And only do that one time. And when you come back in every 30 minutes, you will be able to grab more ammo in 30 minutes. And now with this update, you're able to get bulletproof vest anytime you want.
They just told me I had to bring rank 3 to get the bulletproof vest.
Okay. I don't know why that is, but as long as you have your ammo and your taser, you should be okay right now. Since you're not allowed to do much but participate in 10-12s and your patrol missions, you should be okay for right now.
Roger that.
Follow me this way. So if you want to go and check that out, this is another room for RP reasons. This is a weapons locker. You can use that to switch out ammo, go through guns, things like that. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, follow me. So this room is the gym. Like I was saying, you're allowed to tase and have your weapon out in here to practice, but this is the only room that you're allowed to do that in. If you are caught outside of this room, you will get in trouble. You are not allowed to tase or shoot anybody outside of this. We've had a few times where some officers will come in, other officers will join in and just work on their tasing and shooting.
Roger that.
So this room over here, this is the infirmary. So if you die, this is where you will respawn. It'll respawn you over there by the bed. 10-4. Say that again. Bobby, go ahead and go in here.
I'm still here.
10-4. So if you look at the wall straight ahead of you in the infirmary, you'll see that Mr. Granger, he'll appear over by one of those beds. Ta-da!
It's a fucking magic show.
Okay, follow me over here.
Like floated through thin air.
So we ask that you do not park any vehicles in this spot. This is where your contraband and patrol vehicle will spawn and despawn. Anything on the other side of those pillars is okay to park your vehicle. Any questions?
Anything behind the pillars behind us, correct?
Yes. So where you're at, anything on the other side where Mr. Granger is standing.
Okay.
Okay, right over here. this is where I apologize for the last thing I said. This is where your contraband vehicle will spawn and despawn. The other spot is where your patrol vehicle will spawn and despawn. But we ask that no vehicles or anybody stand in this spot so that vehicles don't get thrown and y'all don't get hit.
Roger that.
Follow me this way. So just like outside of PD, the parking lot, this is where you can spawn and despawn your personal vehicles. If you go on 10-6s, you're allowed to do that. But we ask that we try to keep the vehicles over in this far corner. Granger, do you want to give him an example of where the vehicles will pop up?
Okay, I see it.
Okay, so that is where you're allowed to do that. Follow me this way. So this red circle, this is where you spawn and despawn police vehicles, but right now as an unbadged, you are not allowed to do that at all. The speed limit in the streets is 120. On the interstate, it's 170, and here in the garage, it's only 20. We ask that just for safety reasons. But as unbadged, you are not allowed to spawn any vehicles. Only vehicle that you are allowed to spawn is your patrol vehicle. You will be allowed to, like I said, go on 10-12s, and that you don't speak to anybody except for your fellow officers. And if they have a question, you just direct them here to PD or one of your fellow officers that's nearby. I believe it's a vested or higher. And that circle, the blue circle behind me, is where you enter and exit the garage.
Roger that.
Granger, do you have anything else that you would like to input? Okay, Mr. Cleveland, do you have any questions at all?
Not currently. Just like to get on with training.
10-4, you can always ask any vested officer to do 10-12s, or if you hear somebody going on a 10-12, ask if you can tag along. Just try to remember the rules. If you don't remember anything, anybody here in PD will be glad to help.
Roger that. So the PD1 and PD2 classes, after I get those done, and then the macros and violations done, that's when I get the badge, correct?
You'll get your badge when you have the medals that match it. You can get your medals by being active online and by doing your patrol missions.
Roger that.
So if you want right now, you can go work on patrol missions, or you can see if anybody wants to go on a 10